Salim, hold this for 1 minute while I put the microphone on, brother.
Okay. When you say it jumps into existence, remember, it was nothing. Imagine, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Suddenly, money comes into my bank account.
Yeah.
I need to know where the money comes from.
Yes.
Right? Money. Yeah. So either money is created. There you go, money, suddenly someone creates the money and money is there, or money is borrowed from somewhere.
Correct.
So, in your example, the universe, which is energy, right?
Sort of.
Is the universe energy?
Sort of.
Does it possess energy?
Yes.
Good. Can energy be created or destroyed?
Not under the current laws, no.
So, under which laws can the universe energy be created?
Before the universe, there are no laws.
So, according to you,
Yes.
energy can be created.
Yes, but when there are no laws to prevent it being created, it can be created.
No. Why do you assume there are no laws?
Because if there were laws...
Were you there?
No.
No. So, what's your assumption based on? That there are no laws?
Because it's under the terms of the definition of nothing.
Sorry. The universe possesses energy.
Correct.
Energy can come from nothing, can be created. That's your position.
Only if there are no laws that prevent it from being created. Only if there are no laws for prevention to be created.
Excuse me, can you not put on someone's face, please? Yeah? Energy can come from nothing when there's no laws.
Correct.
Right. So when there was absolutely nothing, how does it become something?
It just jumps into existence.
No, that's not a good explanation, is it?
I think it's pretty good.
Okay. God exists.
No.
God just exists.
No.
Why isn't that a good explanation?
Because why do we need him to exist?
No, it's not why we need it.
Yeah.
I've explained the existence of God because God just is. Just like you explained, it just jumps.
Okay.
So now, God exists, right, according to this?
Well, if you want to set up like a two-statement logical thing, where God exists, therefore he exists, yeah, you can have that. But I'm not going to get engaged in that debate. This chap here wanted to know...
No, talk about this chap.
No.
We want to talk about the origin of energy. So you believe energy...
But you want to talk about that. I find it very interesting to talk about.
Is it because, isn't this discussion interesting rather than trying to explain something in the middle? Let's go back to the origin. Yeah. Nothing produces something.
Correct.
Yeah. So nothing wasn't something then?
Nothing wasn't something then.
Yeah. But it became something.
So there was nothing and then it became something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing which has no properties.
Yes.
Yeah. No laws.
Yes.
It becomes something.
Correct.
How does it become?
It just jumped into existence.
So it just happens is a good explanation.
For me, yes.
Not for you, for everyone. For scientists, for philosophers, for people with intelligence and rationality and reason. Yeah, it just is. It just happens is a good explanation in science, in philosophy, in logic, in rationality. Is that your position?
But when we get to a point where our measurements are unable to be attained, then yes, we must put the placeholder of we do not know how this happened, so we will just draw it here and say it jumped into.
No,
we have
to search.
Brother, this universe came from green flying turtles.
Okay.
Do you accept the explanation?
Well, where's your evidence that it came from green flying turtles?
Where is your evidence something just is? It just jumped in. Where's your evidence? You ask me for evidence.
Yeah, that's what I did.
So provide your evidence for your claim that it just jumped into existence from nothing.
Okay. So we're in a highly speculative area, yeah? I hope you would agree. Because it's very difficult to measure outside of the universe. Before time existed.
Did you give me this opportunity or the disclaimer, we're in a highly speculative area, so why do you even ask for an evidence for my claim? It came from green turtles. When you are now confronted with your position to explain it rationally, you are now giving all these disclaimers.
What's your question?
Is that it? Is the discussion over or is he coming back?
What's your question?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's because, I did ask you for the evidence, but that's your failure to not set up the framework for the answer of producing the evidence.
Framework, it just is.
No, when
Do you not accept that? It just is. I thought this is how you operate. It just is. So I give you a likewise explanation. It just is. Be consistent in your
You said it
approach.
came from green turtles.
Yeah, it just is. It just is.
Yes.
It came from the green turtle. That's how it is. That's the way it is.
Yeah, well, okay. So you think it came from green turtles?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. So do you accept that?
You think, so you
No,
think,
not me. Do you accept it?
I'll show you. So I'll say, you think the universe came from a green turtle, yeah? I'll say,
It's all I believe, but if I were to offer you an explanation of the origin of the universe,
Yeah.
okay, a silly explanation
Yeah.
from a green flying turtle,
Yeah.
now, if you don't accept it, you have to give me your reasons why you don't accept it.
okay, I'll say, because recent experiments in science, I hear, depict that the subatomic particles and subatomic levels act very strangely, yeah? We get particles jumping into existence
From what?
from space-time fabric.
That's something.
Yes, it is something.
So it didn't come from nothing.
That's
so it
correct.
doesn't support you.
No, it doesn't.
Right. So it supports me. It comes from something.
It guides me in the direction of saying, when we look very deep, we don't see green turtles. We see subatomic particles.
Yeah, but still, it comes from something.
That's very true.
Good.
But
So how is that supporting your claim?
Because when
offer
we look at-
explanation which supports your claim.
Okay, because when we look at it, we see, oh look, this looks very odd. Things are just jumping into existence.
They don't jump into existence. They don't just jump into existence. They come from, it's a transformation from one form to the other. While they were not in this reality, they were in a different reality because there were quantum fluctuations. Yep.
What I'm saying, if you think you understand if you think you understand the quantum rules or whatever,
Do you?
No.
Don't talk about it then.
I know.
Let's talk about something that we both can understand and have a common ground.
I agree. The planets. Let's learn how the planet came into existence. The Earth, the sky, the grass, the trees, the animals. We know about this. It's evolution and planet theory. But I think we're done, aren't we?
No, we're not. Why do you not accept an explanation that the universe just is, it came from green turtles? Rather than your explanation, it came from nothing.
Okay. Because it's more. First of all, your idea is more complicated because you have to explain the existence of a green turtle.
So if it's complicated, it's probably not true. Is that what you're saying?
No. It just makes it harder to explain.
You know what? It's not. Look, theory of relativity. Do you think everyone else, in fact, those who are not physicists and not have studied this, it's easy for them to explain it?
Well,
Just because you can't explain it doesn't make it's not true.
well, Einstein said everything should be able to be explained to a barmaid.
So theory of relativity from Einstein is not a real theory. In fact, it's not true because it's difficult to explain.
No, that's not. No.
Then don't talk about complexity and difficulty in explanation. So just because something is complex, it doesn't make the claim that it's not true. So why is your claim that nothing can produce something? Have you seen any evidence in this world where this is happening? Nothing produces something.
Well, I'm told that we see very similar evidence when we get to the subatomic particles.
What's similar? It comes from something.
Yes.
So you haven't got anything similar.
We see very odd properties of the subatomic
But
particles.
it doesn't come from nothing. So you haven't seen anything similar.
No,
Have
but-
you seen anything similar at all where nothing generates something in our reality?
Not yet.
Right. So you basically, your speculation about the universe came from nothing is merely a speculation with nothing to back up with.
It's got like a signpost, like a couple of miles back, that says "Go towards nothingness."
I don't get it at all.
Okay. So nothingness is the most basic state. If you go up from there,
Nothingness is the most basic state. Why?
I mean it's like the most default position. Like
That's why I asked you.
Exactly.
And what did you say to the answer to this question?
you were implying that nothingness would therefore lead to always nothingness.
I didn't say anything. I asked you what was the default position. Shouldn't nothingness be the default position? If there was nothing to begin with, shouldn't always be nothing?
No.
Okay, so what makes nothing generate something?
The fact that it's not a stable state.
Now you're going to Professor Lawrence Krauss's theories. So you're familiar with a little bit of his theories. Why is it not stable? Is there just nothing there? When you say it's not stable, what makes it unstable?
The lack of rules and structure.
But there is nothing there to be unstable of, or to be stable of. It's simply non-existence of anything. Any particles, any space, any matter, any energy. It's simply nothing there to have any kind of stability or instability.
But that's what you would imagine, yeah?
It's not imagining it, that's how it is. Because nothing is nothing.
But the instruments that we use to imagine things are very crude, yeah? They've evolved for X, Y, and Z.
So are you saying nothing is not nothing?
No, I'm saying that
Nothing has something within it.
No, I'm saying nothingness is not a stable state.
You can't say it's not a stable state because nothingness is simply nothing. It doesn't have anything in it.
You can't redefine nothing.
Well, how would you define nothing?
It's already nothing.
Nothing.
Exactly, I agree.
Yeah, but you're not agreeing when you're talking to him. You're saying that there's unstable laws or lack of laws. That means there's very few laws.
No, nothing. It's
Yeah.
nothing.
So the question of instability doesn't apply because it simply has nothing in it.
Yeah.
It's not unstable. It's just non-existing.
Yeah, well, I'm not producing a physics paper here, yeah? I'm just giving you what
But give us a rational explanation of your position. Because you said you don't believe there is a God. Yeah, there is no God. You made a positive claim that God doesn't exist.
Yeah, something make it happen.
What is your evidence for the non-existence of God?
I haven't really got any evidence.
So it's your belief that God doesn't exist. Okay.
His side will come out
Okay.
the best. Whatever happens, the comments they'll say is that you've been defeated in your argument.
Are you done, mate? Are you done?
To make something happen, something makes it happen.
Sorry?
If it's nothing, it's nothing anyway. Huh? He's coming here. He's coming. The one with the glasses.
I mean, you're coming in, I'm in a debate I haven't been in, so I don't know what context we're talking about.
Do you know any of the latest published physics papers?
Not really. I'm just living a real life, basically, and seeing that this so-called supreme being doesn't...
No, we're waiting.
That's
He's
what
coming
I'm
back.
living,
You
a
finished?
real life.
No.
Seeing that this doesn't seem to make sense, any of this God thing.
There is one principle
And it's very logical.
scientists, philosophers will agree on. That something cannot come from nothingness. You need to read more about this.
Sorry, I didn't hear that thing.
Something cannot come from absolute nothingness.
Well, that's your opinion.
It's not about my opinion. Find me one individual scholar who thinks this is the case and the reasons why this is the case.
Lawrence Krauss.
No, he doesn't say his nothing is nothing.
What does he say?
So basically, again, you have not read his
what's
book or his lectures. You have studied it. His nothing is something.
Okay, well, what is his something in the nothing?
You should ask him. He explains it in the book, actually. He explains his nothing in his book. Yeah, there's quantum fluctuations. So there are things within this nothing. So his nothing is not the philosopher's nothing, where it's absolute nothingness. So I understand and appreciate how he may have misled many people, and yourself included, because the universe came from nothing, and everyone thinks, yeah, there you go. The universe came from nothing. This is very misleading. And I think he needs to come clean and say, look, the universe didn't come from nothing, it came from something, and my something is a little bit like something that you know of, but it didn't come from nothing. Yeah. So apart from him, and including him, because he doesn't believe something came from nothing, you cannot find a person, a scholar, who will give you reasons and his arguments or evidence where something can come from nothingness. Okay, well, okay. Yeah. So if something is here,
You gotta ask someone.
if something is here now, then there cannot be absolute nothingness ever in the past. There has to be always something.
Well, I've seen other people reason with very simple things like that. That's just far too simple to reason with.
That's the only rational explanation. If you are a rational person, this is something that you'll hold to making sense. If you say something is here, but yet at one point there's absolute nothingness, then you're saying nothingness generated something which is bizarre.
No. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's so brilliant.
It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
If I told you this camera just popped into existence from nothing, you believe, right? You would accept it. Of course you would. Because you accept that something can come from from nothingness.
I think
Why not?
That's what my framework was establishing. The framework was that we can't know before the universe. So we do need an explanation, such as the universe came from nothing.
That's not an explanation.
We need that explanation.
No, that is not an explanation. The universe began to exist. Something to begin to exist, it can't self-exist itself. It cannot self-begin. It cannot somehow become into existence by itself. Because prior to that, it was nothing. It didn't have the energy, the will, the consciousness for it to do something, because it simply didn't have any of those things.
There's the science of the gaps to say that it was nothing. Things form from nothing.
Must be something in it, behind it.
That's what
Must be
is
something
the
behind it to
nothing.
exist.
Think about it. Think about it.
Well, I think
Reason
you're all
with
totally
it.
wrong. And
No, you have to give us the reasons why you're wrong and help us to understand why this is wrong.
okay, because when we get to the limits of our knowledge and our ability to understand things, we need answers such as things just popped into existence. That's one placeholder. You don't? Because otherwise you.
Why are you going to start assuming things when your knowledge starts getting limited? That's ignorant.
Because you need footing, you need guidance, you need stability. Otherwise, you'll just be floating the whole time. And I mean this in a thought. Do you understand what I say there? Okay. It would endlessly annoy you, yeah? As I was trying to explain to the other person, how did the planets and sun come into existence? That's what he wanted to know, yeah? If you explain that, then the next one, it falls to the next one, doesn't it? Oh, how does the galaxy come into existence? How does the universe, yeah? And then if you don't have an answer such as it came into existence, you just get stuck there.
What was the cause of our universe? Because it came into existence. What caused it?
It just jumped into existence.
No, what caused it?
What are you saying that?
It's an effect, right? Jumping into existence, jumping is an effect. What was the cause?
You can change that to popped into existence.
Yeah, popping in
had no
into
cause.
existence
It had no
is an
cause.
effect. What was the cause?
It had no cause. It just happened.
So the effect proceeded without a cause. Do you see anything in reality that
Well,
with no cause things just happen and an effect happens?
the theory goes that we're under the laws of time, which cause causation. Without the laws of time, we would have no causation.
Your model of your universe,
Yes.
that it popped into existence,
Yeah.
what caused that popping in? What caused that jumping in?
No, it just happened.
So basically, you're saying the only explanation which makes sense is it just is. It just happened.
Yeah, I'm basing that on the elegance of it. It's just such a nice idea. And then second,
If it's nice, doesn't mean it's true.
I agree. And then secondly, the universe gets very strange when we look down into the deep downwards. Yeah. So the more I think it guides us towards that answer. That's what I think it guides us towards.
Based on what?
Based on Stephen Hawking's idea, and the idea that laws don't exist before the universe, so therefore causality doesn't exist, and also the conservation of energy doesn't exist.
Conservation of energy comes from where?
They're laws. They're
Right.
laws. Yeah?
So you're saying the laws are operating in our universe, and yet there are no laws beforehand. How do you come to this conclusion?
Well, yeah, it's not a physics paper that I'm submitting for peer review.
Yeah, agreed.
Of course.
It's just a discussion.
Yeah. So it's just a nice idea. It's just such a good idea.
No. Your idea needs to be something sensible. Otherwise, people will say, just trash the
I
idea.
would say a nice idea is to believe that there was a force.
And what do you think the cause was?
Like a force that's like more powerful, much greater energy than the energy that was created. Something that had intelligence, design, right? Like based on what we see in common sense in everyday life. Then to suddenly jump back and say, oh yeah, it just came from nothing.
Oh shit. Alright. He's just got you on your line. I'd just say one point. I'd say the problem with that idea is it develops from the human mind.
What mind do you want us to develop?
I mean, like,
For us to understand, it has to come from the human mind, right?
Take care, man. Don't drive off, though.
So always you have the key for the toilets.
no, it's a car.
Car.
I say
Maybe you're not phrasing it properly.
no, yeah, that's what I'm doing. So imagine like a lion, It has perception vision, so it can think, It also has a hierarchy, so it doesn't eat its cubs or whatever. So they're biological, psychological. thought
Exactly.
The language of the universe is mathematics and physics. So your idea, an all-powerful thing, that's a very human story.
Sorry?
It's a very human story. It's a human story. It's made out of our mind. Our mind
But
is
where does maths and physics come from?
our mind.
Our minds, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
You're trying to say it sounds like a made-up story by human emotions.
Yes.
You're not saying human intellect. But that's not true, because it makes more sense for the earth, everything we have, to have come from nothing. You've got nothing to justify it.
Okay.
Like, we use our brains, and then as soon as we get to God, everyone just becomes dumb, and, you know, just it all breaks apart.
Yeah. But
But you see, you can't justify it.
no, I totally agree. If you want to put ourselves on equal ground here, you're talking about the cause of the universe. I've said it's just a nice idea. It's got signposts that say it. What's your idea for the cause of the universe?
Something that has intelligence, who created the laws, something all powerful, something that has greater energy than the one that we have in this universe.
Doesn't that just get defeated simply by the argument, where did that come from?
Because no, it doesn't. Because it can always be there, right? Listen. Because if you say who created that, and you keep saying that, you go to infinity and nothing will ever happen.
Yeah. So we're sort of in the same boat, actually.
No, yeah, but I am using common sense and saying that there must have been a cause that caused everything, right?
And I'm
but
saying-
you're saying it's nothing.
And I'm saying it's wrong to use common sense.
Oh, it's wrong to use common sense.
Yeah.
So in your everyday life, you don't use your
I
common
can't
sense.
discuss anything with you then.
No.
Because it's wrong to use any common sense speaking to you, isn't it?
There's two different things here. If you want to know how to run a society or whatever, use common sense.
Yeah. When it comes to religion,
No. If you want to explain where the universe came from, use mathematics and physics.
and mathematics is not common sense.
1 + 1 = 2 is not common sense.
They're different things, yeah.
No, they're not.
They are.
They're not. Common sense and maths go very well together. You have to have common sense to do maths.
You're familiar with the infinite regress problem,
Yes.
right? So if the universe came into existence, there cannot be infinite causes for the universe, right? There has to be a cause, which is the first cause.
Well, why do you think that applies?
Because it makes sense.
Because it doesn't make sense, something pops into existence, and the explanation is, it just is. Then anyone can explain anything with this, it just is. It's the way it is. The universe came from a flying spaghetti monster, it just is. It came from a green turtle, it just is. All of this explanation, you'd have nothing to counter. You'd say, that is the only explanation that I can offer. It just is. But this is not how science operates. Our mind operates, is it?
No.
Yeah. So why are you now realizing this universe, something that exists, you somehow want to give it non-existence, no cause for this universe? Is it possibly, because if there is a creator for this universe, that means there must be a reason why the universe was created by this creator. That means you must have a purpose in your life, but you want to roam free, totally free and with this liberty to do everything that you do, rather than part of an organized religion. These are these common obstacles that we find when speaking to people who say there is no God, when they themselves admit, when we say there is no God, we have no evidence for it. It's a belief system. And that belief stems from this.
I'll actually totally agree, yeah? That's totally true. You said my wantingness for there to be no God and for it to spring out of existence is my attachment to freedom. I want to be able to walk around and do whatever the hell I like. Yeah? But
Exactly.
yeah, that's true. But you must agree then, we're still on the same footing, yeah? You can't explain the universe through your ways, which is just, you want to be part of an organized religion with a purpose.
We just said the universe came from something which is possessor of more energy, which makes sense. It came from something rather than nothing. So our position is more rational, sensible, reasonable. Your position is it just is. If you want to say just is a better explanation for everything, you should write a physics paper with this explanation for anything and see whether you can get it just through the peer review process. It never happen in your lifetime or anyone's lifetime unless it's in one of these journals which doesn't need peer reviews.
So what do you reckon there ever will be a physics paper that sort of gets widely accepted as the creation of the universe?
Physics papers discussing about the origin of our cosmos.
Are they?
Or you're not familiar with any of them?
No, I understand the question. Did you say are they?
I'm saying people are talking about the origin of our cosmos,
Yes.
of our universe. Yeah. Explanations about whether there's a Big Bang, whether there's a multiplicity of Big Bang and Big Crunches. Yep. And they're talking about it, multi-universes. So people are talking about it in the physics papers and other journals. Are you familiar with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes.
And are you familiar with the book that he brought, the Quran? Have you read it?
A little bit.
Okay. When this book says, did they come from nothingness? Am khuliqu min ghayri shay'in?
No. I asked, would there ever be a physics paper that gets widely accepted in peer-reviewed journals as the correct answer for the origins of the universe?
Big Bang is there in the Quran too.
When we have sufficient enough knowledge to conclude something, people will, put forward and accept it. There are many things in science now that are accepted as what? Facts.
Yeah.
So when something becomes of that nature in our knowledge base, people will accept it.
That's what I mean. So until then, I'll just believe that it came from nothing.
Based on what? Based on nothing to back up with.
No. I've got a little bit of understanding of physics, and I think physics is pointing us in that direction.
No. Physics is grounded on certain principles. Where what?
Yeah.
The universe is rational.
Yeah.
Rational, right?
Yeah.
That yes, our energy
I agree.
cannot be created or destroyed.
I agree. So what you're saying?
No, you agree and yet then you disagree, saying no, energy can be created. Energy can come from nothing.
Yeah. So
it's not coming from your physics background, does it?
yeah, it does because of this. So I said physics is pointing us in that direction, and I said,
Where is physics pointing to the direction where energy can come from nothingness?
well, one of the ideas is the lack of rules and structure.
Lack of rules and structure is something that you are assuming.
Yes.
Based on what?
That the more we strip away, the more we see weird things happen.
No. You're assuming there was no rules from which our universe came.
Yeah, see.
Based on what? You have nothing to go by.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
So assumptions upon assumption upon assumption, and you think that's going to eventually somehow justify your position that the universe came from nothing, partly on your assumptions.
No, I'm saying physics points us in that direction.
No, physics is not pointing in that direction.
No?
Physics cannot operate unless it is within these rules and boundaries. The physical laws and physical constants constrain us from going into this direction. Do you know of physical constants which are more than accurate, more than 22nd decimal places, how accurate they are? And you're thinking, no, there are no rules beyond our universe. Based on what? This whole universe points to rules, regulations, regularities. And yet somehow you see
Nothing.
you go totally opposite. You go opposite.
Do you know of, do you know of evolution?
Evolution.
Yeah.
Evolution of the universe.
No, of species, animals.
No, that's
biology.
much later. We're not going to go, thousands and millions and billions of later what happened. Let's talk about the origin of the cosmos. Because one other thing though, this is something for you to understand. When atheists are confronted to explain their belief, they find a comfort zone in evolution. Because they realize believers don't accept the model of evolution that is presented by the Darwinians, for example, okay? And they somehow point the whole discussion to this evolution. This is just a ploy to somehow redirect the whole discussion at hand, right? Whether I believe in evolution or not evolution, it's not going to solve the problem of the origin of the universe. It's not. So we need to stick to our understanding of the origin of our universe.
The reason why I brought up evolution is you said, look around yourself and look how it's all been handcrafted, yeah? But then I said, no, actually, look at evolution and see how it's been, by happen chance, came into existence.
Chance? Is there such a thing as chance?
Are you asking it like a philosophical statement?
No, there is no such thing as chance. There is no thing as chance.
What are you saying?
Give me an example of a chance.
If I flip a coin.
If you flip up a coin, and if I tell you every single time it's a head or a tail, would that be chance?
That would be, from my perspective, very odd.
It's not odd, it's because I will show you. If I did, then it's not by chance. If you flip a coin, and the coin is of a certain weight and shape, and of certain metal, right? Certain texture. There is certain humidity and temperature around, wind speed, the height of it as it falls from the ground, the impacts on, the texture of it, right? Gravity, of course. If you have all the factors into equation, you can predict with 100% certainty it will be head or tail, or on one of the sides. So it was not chance at all. It was your ignorance of those factors associated with this.
Steady on. See what I mean by common sense can fail us, yeah? Because that sounds highly rational, doesn't it? But Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, you must all know of this. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle.
Yeah. And what does it mean? If it's uncertain, it means what?
It's inherent randomness within our universe. Inherent randomness within the universe.
this uncertainty principle, that itself is certain that there's uncertainty, right?
No. The uncertainty principle more ties to like.
Are you certain there's uncertainty principle?
No, I'm relatively sure.
So there is a surety that this uncertainty principle exists. So it's like a law.
You sort of suggest
It's like a law already. So you're saying this law of uncertainty exists in a particular domain. So there you go. It's a particular law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sort of hinted that you know a little bit about physics.
No, I'm listening to the argument and trying to understand it from a neutral perspective, and I'm just thinking, where is it making more sense? And trying to be fair to you and to him. And to me, it just sounds like when where your argument sort of comes crashing down is when you say the universe appears from nothing.
Yes.
And then you say, well, that's what physics is pointing to, but physics itself is about laws, and it's scientific. Whereas you saying the universe coming from nothing doesn't move with the laws of physics itself. It's like it's a cop-out situation.
Okay.
Where I'm not saying you are right or wrong, but to me it's what it just sounds like. Trying to take it from trying to be neutral here.
Yeah.
I'm not a physicist, or I don't know much about. Although I'm a Muslim, I don't know much about the argument just doesn't seem strong.
Yeah. Well,
that's all. I mean, it's not like trying to bring you down for the reason, but just trying to understand the argument and see if there's any scientific basis to your argument. And it just seems like it's a bit weak.
Okay.
I don't know if you feel it's weak yourself.
No. I really like the argument because it's so simple, and like I say,
But it doesn't make it right, does it?
No. But it's just very useful, and also it does sort of follow the lines of our current physics. Yeah. So you said physics is about establishing the laws and then following the laws through. But if you ask the question, what happens if you start stripping away the laws? Then what would happen? What
Laws still exist even in quantum mechanical world. You cannot go beyond your laws. The laws are operating within our universe. That's a given fact.
Yes.
This is a reality. So you cannot postulate from that there are no laws, because that's going totally against what you've observed within this reality, and you're going against it. So basically you want to somehow believe in something, your position, which goes in line with your thinking, that I want to be free, I don't want to be under a religion, I don't want to believe in God, because God means responsibility, God means accountability, God means there might be another world hereafter, there might be heaven or hell. That's maybe the reasons why you don't want to go with the rational explanation, and you are happy with your explanation.
Rational one, by the way.
That's the explanation we are giving.
The argument was what he was saying, that there must have been a force with a higher power or more energy than what's in the universe that created it. That's what his argument leads to. Whereas your one is just stops at, well, it came from nothing.
Okay.
So, did you understand that point? I mean.
Yeah,
I understand. Yeah.
You understand that point. So I mean, so despite that, you still believe that it came from nothing. Is that what you stand by, just for the sake of it, or sake of the argument, or is it that you can accept his point of view?
Yeah, I actually think we travel quite a lot of ground. Yeah, that idea that I'm attached to this nothing.
That there is a creator, that there is a possibility that there is a creator, and that in itself is quite a solid argument. Can you not accept that argument?
No. No, I really can't.
You don't believe in it?
No, I can't. I just can't accept that argument. No.
Does it not make any logical sense to you that there is a creator?
Yeah, it makes a lot of.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's like a story.
Like a story, not as a
well, no, I
belief.
mean there's logic. There's a logical
Evidence.
basis. It's logical
all of
to conclude that there is a creator. It is logical to conclude that there is a creator. So why can you not accept that argument, whereas yours is actually quite illogical?
Because the logic of it, you can't use logic is a very rigid system. Yeah. So to explain something like it's just far too simple. You can't just say, oh, the logical correct answer is yes, creator. You're saying it sounds kind of right with the structures that you're using.
Well, it's not it sounds right, it's just more logical.